during the Moi era, the government used to give titles to all its buddies. Anybody who was anybody would be given a title so that they can support the government. And this is what happened in Mombasa in a settlement called Majaoni. Majaoni was situated right next to the sea. It's a beautiful, beautiful location. So it was very prime. So what the government did at that time was that it allocated titles to anybody who was anybody in the country. All the big names, all the big shots had a title. Many of the big shots had titles in Majaoni. So when we were working with Majaoni, because over the years Kituo had built quite a strong movement in Mombasa, we began to realize that the pressure on this settlement was very, very strong. And we could not be able to get information on who owned the land. So we only had rumors. So it's very difficult to fight an eviction if you do not know who owns the land and what you're really fighting. So we agreed with the people that when we go back to Nairobi, we would try and see whether we can get the titles for this land. So we came back and we managed to link up with somebody in the Ministry of Lands, and they gave us all the titles for this particular settlement. And the information we had in our hands was really, really shocking, and it was really hot. So what happened after that is that we started being threatened. We started being threatened with bombings in our office. So we would sit in our office. The first time, somebody just came and just threw a petrol bomb in the reception. And we began to wonder, what is this all about? We thought it would go away. So we forgot about it. And then after another week, another petrol bomb. Someone just came in and threw another petrol bomb. And then another came. And the third one just burnt our whole office. The office just was burnt down. But eventually the fire was put out. But after the fire was put out, we didn't have an office. And so we started looking for an office to let, and nobody would let us an office. We would move from one place to another, asking, could you please let? For a whole year, we stayed without an office. So we used to operate from, the National Council of NGOs, so they gave us one room. Major challenge because all our staff were highly traumatized. Everybody who went through that experience was very, very traumatized. So it took quite a while for us to pick up again. And people then were afraid, afraid to do this work. Why are we doing this work? Lawyers are very conservative. Why do we do this work that just brings us problems? And in any event, we go to court, we don't even win these cases, so why bother? So actually what we did, because we also realized that if we stayed with that information, it was putting us at risk. So we actually we worked with the National Council for NGOs, and we put out an advert, and we said, this is the reason why we are being targeted. And when we put out some names, and again now we started getting calls at night. I remember receiving like 2 or 3 calls, someone just telling me, girl, be careful. That time I was a young girl, but they could call me girl.